Manchester United have not had the best start to the season, have they? 4 wins at the start and then followed by 3 consecutive losses in a week. And we now find ourselves here on a Monday thinking, what is going wrong at Man United? What is Jose Mourinho doing wrong? What are the players doing wrong? And there are lots of reasons why we lost against Watford. But there's one player in particular, and I think you all know it, who was holding United back against Watford, and it was Wayne Rooney. Now, this is no agenda against Wayne Rooney. Let's get one distinction clear before we get into this video. You can think that Rooney is a great player for United and has been a great player for the club, and at the same time hold the opinion that Rooney is past it at the top level and isn't good enough to hold a position for Manchester United anymore. You can have these two opinions working in unison. You can have one and hold the other and not be considered a hypocrite. Not many people seem to understand that. I think Rooney has been a great player for United over the years. That's absolutely not in question. He's nearly our club record goal scorer. Of course he is. But he shouldn't be playing for United anymore. And I want to explain my reasons why. I think Rooney's individual performance really summed up why I feel that United are in a straitjacket whenever Rooney plays. You know, he's slow, he's lost the edge, he's never had a really good first touch. And he was playing in a free-roaming central midfield role in a 3 alongside Marouane Fellaini and Paul Pogba against Watford. And it's a sort of position that David Silva occupies for Man City. You know, smaller player, given the playmaker role, just to run around, get space and bring the ball forward. Rooney just didn't do that in the slightest. The fact that Craig Cathcart created more opportunities in open play than Wayne Rooney did really sums it up. His short passing was off, his crosses were overhit, his corners were overhit, his positioning defensively and offensively was poor. I mean, there's not really any positive spin I can take from this Wayne Rooney performance against Watford. And I want so much for United to operate without Wayne Rooney, because I just feel he holds us back. And he holds other players back. He holds... Henrik Mkhitaryan is obviously injured right now. Juan Mata is a better number 10 than him. He could be our David Silva in that role. Yes, you know, Mourinho doesn't really like Mata. Mata's got questions to be asked about him defensively, as we saw against Feyenoord when he kept getting pushed off the ball. But Wayne Rooney he's shit now. There is no other way to look at it. It's our one good piece of attacking play against Watford. We had Zlatan Ibrahimovic dropped so deep to get the ball because Wayne Rooney couldn't feed it to him. He then ran with the ball forward, had a little interchange with Marcus Rashford, and it ultimately led to our equaliser. Now, I'm not sure Wayne Rooney was involved in any sort of positive play against Watford. And the problem we've got with Rooney is, say, let's take the whole game, for example, earlier this season. He was awful in that game as well. But because he got an assist right at the end from which United scored the winner, people seem to gloss over the 89 minutes of poor that we had seen before and concentrate solely on that one assist he had. Yes, it was at a critical time, and fair enough, that was important, but you can't ignore what is in front of you. And as fans, we have been seeing it for years with Rooney. Arguably 3 years. I think ever since that new contract, was it 2013? I don't think he's earned it at all. I mean, how many great games has Rooney had for United since then? You could probably count it on one hand. He's just holding United back. And I think a big question has to be asked as to how Rooney is handled, both internally and externally. If you're looking from inside the club, Jose Mourinho is a ruthless manager, has been a ruthless manager at every place he's gone. Dropped Iker Casillas at Real Madrid because he didn't like him or wasn't playing well enough. Same goes for Gareth Bale when he wasn't playing well enough. At Man United so far, you saw it at half-time against Man City. Henrik Mkhitaryan and Jesse Lingard both got taken off because they were not playing good enough. Daley Blind got dropped for the Feyenoord game because he wasn't playing good enough. At what point does Mourinho look at Rooney and say, you're not playing good enough. You might be my captain, you're not playing good enough. I'm going to have to leave you on the bench, Wayne. Because for so long, Rooney was indispensable for Man United. To even consider a team without Rooney in was not possible. That ship has sailed a long time ago. Yet Rooney still carries this air of invincibility around him. He had it under David Moyes, who pandered towards him. He had it under Louis van Gaal, who pandered towards him. And now he's got it under Jose Mourinho so far. At what point does Mourinho say, no, Rooney can't be in this team anymore? For me, that point has already come. And I want to know what you think, because plenty of you feel I've got an agenda against Wayne Rooney. I do not have an agenda against Wayne Rooney because, you know, Watford, Marouane Fellaini was poor. Paul Pogba was poor. Chris Smalling was poor. Eric Bailly was poor. There were a lot of poor players, but this is not one individual performance I'm talking about. I'm talking about a new look United moving forward. And the style of play that Wayne Rooney has right now and the style of play that Mourinho wants United to play in are not conducive to each other. Ibrahimovic and Rooney don't look like they're going to work alongside each other. Both are very slow players. To play both of them and try and use a counter-attacking, pacey team, it's not going to work. So something has to change. Yes, we're only a few games into the season. This is not a crisis point. This is a fan giving his opinion on how he thinks Mourinho's best 11 shapes up, and I can't see Wayne Rooney in it. And something I don't really understand, as well as the managers who I feel pander towards Wayne Rooney, the press and former players. You see Paul Scholes, you see Rio Ferdinand, all these pundits are very quick to criticise Fellaini, very quick to criticise anybody else but Wayne Rooney. Rooney, it doesn't matter how bad he plays. You watch Match of the Day on Sunday night, they hardly mention how shit he was against Watford. It's overlooked, it's ignored. I don't understand why. And this lack of balanced reporting is skewing true opinion and the true analysis of Wayne Rooney in this Manchester United team, because it just doesn't work anymore. It really doesn't. You know, there's points where Rooney can come on and points where Rooney can add to the team, but he's not a guaranteed starter, especially not in midfield, because he is not a fucking midfielder. He is a striker. The only place Wayne Rooney should be used is up front. And he's not going to get in the team ahead of Ibrahimovic or Rashford from the start, so he should be coming on as a substitute. Not every single game. Maybe there are games that Rooney should start. But he shouldn't be starting every single week by default. That is my gripe with him. I do think that Rooney can still have a value and add to this team. But it's not as a guaranteed starter every week. Those days are gone. But of course, this is not just about my opinion. So what we have done is ask you guys what you think about this whole Wayne Rooney situation. And I'm going to run through a few of your thoughts on Wayne Rooney. Starting off here with Stephen saying, yes, he should be dropped ASAP. His game on Saturday was awful. It was awful, and so were Man United. And Man United were awful against Feyenoord. So the issue doesn't lie specifically with Wayne Rooney, but the issue lies in building a team which is best suited to the players we have, to the style of football that Mourinho wants us to play. Rooney doesn't fit inside that puzzle. That's the issue. Pete Muscat here saying nowhere near good enough. What more can you say? I don't think Rooney is good enough to start every single game for Man United anymore. I do think he's still got a value in the team, but what is his place now? Not guaranteed in that starting 11, I'll tell you that. Tom Simpson here saying, is that a serious question? Everyone knows the answer to it. It's concerning that his status has made it impossible for Jose to drop him. I don't think that's the case at all. It's not impossible to drop him, but Mourinho is deciding not to. And it's down to Mourinho to make that change and make that switch. He's a ruthless manager. He's built a career on being ruthless. So you're going to tell me that Rooney is the one player to change that ruthless streak? Just like when Fergie was ruthless throughout his whole career, and he was the one player who broke Fergie when he got his contract renewal. Is Rooney going to do the same thing to Mourinho? Another one here from Merlin United, which I think is a very good point. He said he should drop him, but I understand he wanted to try him out first. Would be stupid not to. Because let's not forget that Mourinho wanted to sign Rooney at Chelsea. He failed to. So now he's at United. He's like, I finally got the player I wanted. Let me try him out. Let me see how good or bad he is. Lo and behold, I think enough has now been seen of Rooney by Mourinho to judge how his real value is to the team. And surely that means at some point in the not-so-distant future, Rooney is out of our starting 11. One here from Pierce saying, does it matter what we think? He is going to play anyway, and Mourinho is going to keep tarnishing his image in the process. It seems very simple for fans looking at it. We obviously don't look inside the dressing room and how important a player like Rooney is inside the dressing room, but we can see it on the pitch, and we're a football team, so we can analyse it from a strictly football perspective and what we see in that 90 minutes. And from that point of view, it's not complicated at all. It's a very simple solution. Rooney has to get out of that team. Is there enough going on behind the scenes that changes that? Surely not. And if there is, then you've got to question Mourinho's ability to be ruthless as a manager. One here from Andrew. He's saying, always been a fan of his, but you'd have to be blind not to see how awful he has been over the last 2 years. That's the problem. It's not just in the last 5 games with Wayne Rooney. It's in the last few years. That's where the frustration comes from. That's why I'm so pissed off that he's still a guaranteed starter at the club. One final one here from Cillian, saying 100% drop him, but definitely won't happen at home to Leicester. Can you imagine the uproar from the English press? Wayne. That has to stop. I'm not even sure how to sum it up. Are we afraid to offend Wayne Rooney? Does he have that much gossip on us behind the scenes as a club that we can't possibly piss him off? Absolutely not. No player is bigger than the club. That has always been the case. That's why Yapstam left. That's why David Beckham left. That's why Fergie fell out with so many players. Rooney is the only one that seems to break this norm and have his own agenda, his own... I don't even know what to call it, but now surely is a time where we look at this and say Rooney is not good enough to start for Man United anymore. Look back at Gary Neville against West Brom in that first half at the Hawthorns. He was awful. Done a really bad tackle. I think it was in Graham Dorrans. Should have given away a penalty. He wasn't given. He sat in that toilet at half-time and he knew this is the last time I'm going to play for Man United. He said that he was embarrassed that Man United fans were singing his song. He said, I deserved that in the past, but not this game. At what point does Wayne Rooney admit to himself that he is not good enough to play for Man United anymore? And maybe a more pertinent question, at what point does Mourinho realise that Rooney is not good enough to play for Man United anymore? As I said, this is not an agenda. This is me looking at the team and identifying what I feel is the key issue for this team. And that is Wayne Rooney still being in that starting 11, getting shoehorned into a team out of position simply because he's Wayne Rooney. That's got to stop. He's got to be dropped and Mourinho needs to move on with different players. Let me know your comments and your opinion on this, because I feel this is one of the biggest things holding United back right now. And until the situation is resolved, I'm not sure how much we can move on and how much our football can improve. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to United People's TV if you fancy it. And we'll see you all very soon. Take it easy.